The safety mechanism was smashed with a ball-peen hammer. We found it, but no prints.
I thought it was impossible for these cages to tumble.
It is on the new ones.
What else have you got?
His name was Benjamin Glory, age 51. He was half owner of a very exclusive high-fashion couturier, Glory Lee Frocks.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. The surviving partner's name is Kiki Lee. She now owns the whole operation.
Who killed half of Glory Lee? Mrs. Glory?
Hello!
Gesundheit.
Oh, I didn't hear you come in. Did you ring?
Oh, yes. Right through a manicure, clear down to the knuckle.
I'm sorry. You see, he's busy. Grip's home. He's busy.
I see.
He's helping me figure out my divorce.
Your divorce?
How much is 7 of 19?
12. I'm Captain Burke.
Grip's home. Don't forget this bowling alley stop. Would you care for a drink?
No, thank you. I have some bad news to tell you about your husband.
I don't want to hear it.
But it's quite...
Not a bit of it. I am fed up with his shenanigans. That's why all this. I'm getting a divorce. You know, ever since he came back from the war...
The war?
You know, World War II, you must have heard about it. It was in all the papers.
Yes, I seem to recall a vicious rumor about something going on over there.
That's the one. Well, when Benny came back in 45, he was just a monster.
C'est la guerre.
You can say that again.
C'est la guerre.
Well, what I mean is, Benny started fooling around with one model after another.
Miss Gloria, perhaps you'd better listen to what I have to say about your husband.
I do not want to hear it. Look, if you are someone's outraged hubby, that is your problem. As for Benny, this new girl was just one too many, setting her up in her own apartment. Well, I tell you, I'm through. I'm getting a divorce.
You won't have to bother now.
Oh, yes, I do. My share of the community property will come to...
Your husband's dead. He was killed in an elevator crash at the Eldon building this morning. He was murdered.
Who did you say you were?
Captain Burke of Homicide. I'm sorry that I have to bring you the news this way, but...
Well, if that isn't a dirty, rotten thing for Benny to do, and I was really going to sweat him out.
Well, from what I've heard of Benny, he's probably doing a lot of sweating right now.
What a way to get bumped off. What nerve!
It was terribly inconsiderate of him, wasn't it?
What a chicken. What an absolute chicken. Taking the easy way out. And him a colonel in the United States Army. That's a coward's way out when you're facing a divorce. I better call my attorney.
You're going to say he was a colonel in the United States Army?
Yes, all during the occupation. Miserable, conniving... I'll bet he committed suicide. That's what he did.
If he did, he's the greatest showman since Cecil B. DeMille. By the way, where were you around 9 o'clock this morning?
Where anybody in their right mind ought to be, in bed.
Any witnesses?
I beg your pardon. I'm a married woman.
Oh, no offense, Mrs. Gloria. I was just wondering if any of your servants saw you.
Well, there was my maid, Grip's home, my pedicurist, my hairdresser, my housekeeper, and my sleep teacher.
Well, no offense again, but you don't seem to be very upset about your husband's death.
Upset? I'm desperate. I mean, how am I going to keep my figure without Benny around?
Let me guess. 3 round trips a day with your adding machine.
Oh, no. You see, he's been having such aggravation, you know, over those stolen designs that I've been able to lose just pounds running around after him all night long, bugging him when he couldn't sleep, you know, like last night.
Well, I hate to bother you, but what about last night?
Well, he had a telephone call about 4:30. Something about the theft and resale of some fashion secrets. Oh, he was livid.
Would I be invading the sanctity of your diet if I asked you who called?
Well, now, how should I know? I only heard a little bit of it when I woke up. You know, if Benny hadn't been killed, I bet I would have had the most marvelous reducing exercises.
Well, murder is inconvenient to everyone, Miss Glory. Keep punching, Mrs. Glory.
Grip's home. The crash program's on. The panic's on. Get all the figures out for the reading of the will, and don't miss a penny.
I'd like to get my hands on the genius who called him the weakest, thanks.